Breaking news this morning out of the Premier League. Chelsea and head coach Enzo Maresca have parted ways. Maresca's 18-month spell at Stamford Bridge comes to an end after a run of just one win in 7 Premier League games has the Blues 5th in the table. The Italian joined Chelsea in July 2024 and guided the club back to Champions League football in his debut season by finishing 4th in the Premier League, as well as lifting the Conference League title and the inaugural Club World Cup. Just a reminder of his timeline since they won the Club World Cup back in July. On December 13th, Maresca said it was the worst 48 hours as Chelsea manager after their 2-0 win against Everton. December 30th, then they finished the calendar year with 1 win in the last 7 matches. And January 1st brings us to today, where he and Chelsea have parted ways. Here is the statement that the club have released. During his time at the club, Enzo led the team to success in the UEFA Conference League and FIFA Club World Cup. Those achievements will remain an important part of the club's recent history, and we thank him for his contributions to the club. With key objectives still to play for across 4 competitions, including qualification for Champions League football, Enzo and the club believe that a change gives the team a best chance of getting the season back on track. We wish Enzo well for the future. I mean, we know, don't we, that there has been extreme tension between Enzo Maresca and the ownership group. But what's your reaction, Troy, to hearing this news this morning and kind of the timing of it all?
A little bit shocked, but not ultimately surprised. When you start hearing about, we've got to go back to the 13th of December. I think that's the most important day for me. When Enzo Maresca let us know there was a problem, and he said it's the worst 48 hours of my life, but didn't let us know what, where and how. We could all start to read between the lines there, because he also said it's not the fans, it's not the players, you know, it's just problems. So that always leads you to look upstairs. I think once those waves and noises start to happen, it's only going to end one way. I'm surprised it happened so quickly after that. I thought it was more of a power play. I think we discussed it before. It was more of a power play from Enzo Maresca saying, right, if I can get people knowing there's a problem, maybe this forces Chelsea to break their structure, break their mould, give me the players I want. Unfortunately, it's gone wrong for him. I love the sentiment there, the statement that Enzo thinks this is the best thing for Chelsea moving forward. No, he doesn't. No manager doesn't want to move from their job. They think they can change it, and if you give them what they want, it'll be better. I just think this is a case of 2 massive egos clashing. And unfortunately, there's only ever going to be one winner, and that's always ownership. Yeah,
I look at it, I say that the divorce occurred on the 13th of December as well. That's when the divorce was, and I was just waiting for the papers to be signed, and it was signed today. I'm not surprised at all. You know, this was definitely going to come. When you look at that situation, he left it open to interpretation. Then he doubled down at Chelsea's next game after the 13th of December against Cardiff in the Cup, and left it open to let people know that there is an issue there, and it's definitely not the fans. Whenever a manager goes, it's not the fans. That's them protecting themselves and protecting their image with the fan base. So you're letting us know it's not the fans, it's someone above that. Then you go into the games as well. You look at their recent loss to Aston Villa, which Chelsea fans are very ambitious, and they think that they should be doing better as a football club with all the investment they made, all the players that they bought. They want to be competing at a higher level. Then you look again the next game against Bournemouth recently. They draw to that, and then when the fans start booing, for me, it was only a matter of time.
Do you think that when the writing is on the wall for the worst 48 hours, Grella, the management probably found it difficult to sack him if the team was in a good moment, but now they've only got 1 win in 7 Premier League games? Do you think that they thought, if we're going to do it, this is the perfect time to do it because we can kind of bring in the performance and them sliding down the table?
But also on December 13th, when Maresca said those things, the whole group knows something's wrong, right? And so then, you know, he's chopping, changing, maybe he's putting in weaker players, maybe the energy's not there, maybe the preparation's not there, and then he's sabotaging a little bit as well. So then 1 win in 7, yeah, obviously then it makes sense for the ownership, it makes sense for Enzo to move on. Enzo here, 92 matches, 55 wins, 2 trophies, right? And I'm not going to back him up because actually I'm not really a big Enzo Maresca fan. I think he changed the group a lot. Came out, said the things he said. Sort of, it was not clear what he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it. So I'm not like defending Maresca here. I just think for a club like Chelsea, if they just think that they're going to just constantly, okay, we're going to buy the best players, the youngest players, we're going to put this group together, and we're just constantly hire manager merry-go-round. No one's been there for over 1,000 days other than Jose Mourinho. So how can a club move forward with no continuity, with no fluidity, with no idea? They keep on chopping and changing. So I'm not saying Maresca was the man for the job, but I think he's done well enough, right? But if you keep on changing, you're never going to find the success that Chelsea had, years past.
It's so true, because it's been a bit of a pattern, hasn't it? Tuchel and Pochettino, they both left
some big managers,
mutual consent as well. It wasn't like they were kind of, pushed out the door and sacked. They had some say in it as well.
Let's remember that it's a new ownership group now. So with these managers we're talking about, it's a different ownership group than under Roman Abramovich, where for me, I would say Chelsea under Abramovich copy the blueprint of Real Madrid, where we've got the players, your job is to manage, win us trophies. If you don't, or even if you do, we will still sack you because we're about winning.
But do they have the players?
Okay, but that's a different ownership group. And now for me, when you look at the pattern of these managers we just mentioned, there's always some kind of issue with ownership and the managers, whether it's Tuchel, Pochettino, and now Enzo Maresca. They've all had issues with this new ownership group. So it's different blueprint from past to what it is now. And I think for me, this was always going to happen. When Maresca did that, this was going to happen. And I think even if you look at Maresca as well, if we be honest, if you look at the comments that he's made throughout his entirety as Chelsea manager, he hasn't helped himself. Like Troy said, one time it's the squads are too big. We've got too many players. The bomb squad. He's got a bomb squad that he's put out there publicly. He's not letting them train with us. They're not part of this team. You've got the squad that you want. Then now all of a sudden you need a centre-back. You didn't get the centre-back. Now it's, I don't have enough players. I don't have good enough players. His messaging continuously changes throughout what benefits him.
I agree with that, but I'm going to ask you boys a question. Is Chelsea a good job? If you're a manager out there right now, is Chelsea a good job where you're going to come into a young group and there's going to be unrealistic expectations of the club? Like, what do they expect? They want to win the Premier League? They don't have the team to win the Premier League.
I would say I think it's a great job, but I don't know what the expectation is. I don't think... Last year he got away with being able to say, we're not in the title race because we only want the top four. This year, the messaging, if you read what they're saying, is we only want the top four and want to go far in Champions League. So if that's the parameter, it's a great job, because I think this team should be in the top four. I actually think this team should be challenging. If you add one or two experienced heads in there, when you look at the squad again, I think they're both at fault, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
But when you look at their two oldest players are 28 years old. That's the goalkeeper, Sanchez, who everyone has question marks over, and Tosin, who you got on a free. The only player that they've bought in Maresca's time that was a free transfer. They're 28 years old. Everybody else is younger, figuring it out, trying to learn on the job. So there will be inconsistencies. My frustration with Maresca is that he's never been the one, when there's been an opportunity to kick on publicly, he's never said, right, we're in this, we're going for the title. It's always been, play it down, play it down, play it down. So as we know as players, when your manager says, the league's not for us,
but do you think he's saying
take 5% off?
But do you think he's saying that behind closed doors? Because isn't that common with football managers to be like, well, don't count us in the title race, but behind closed doors, they're saying, look at them counting us out.
There's a message in there, and also you've got to understand the club that you're managing. You're managing Chelsea Football Club. You do not say that when you're in that race. He talked Chelsea out of a Premier League title race by what he did, because after he said that, they went on a horrendous run. And like Troy said, as players, if you're sitting there and your manager's publicly saying that to the public, you're going to use it as an excuse. You're making it easy for the players to have an excuse. If you're saying you're in the title race reluctantly, you don't believe you're in it, and you say, we're Chelsea Football Club, we're here to compete, no one can say anything.
But the difference as well is when you say those things publicly and you then behind the scenes you say, no, we're in it, you need an experienced dressing room to say to the young boys, don't worry about all the stuff you're reading. Don't worry what your family or your agents are saying to you. This is what we do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, do you think that's the biggest disconnect then? Because the fans want a winner. They want somebody that's going to come in and maybe bring some more of these experienced players in. But the ownership group have shown time and time again they're going down the youth route where they want a young squad full of talent. So it feels a disconnect in all areas of the club.
I don't think if you get the world's best manager, whoever that is, whoever you believe that is at the time right now, they come into that group and win. I don't think you can win the Premier League, the best league in the world. I don't think you can win that league with that group of players. They're too young. But we're not saying they're not talented. They're unbelievable talents. But you don't even know who's going to play, which week they're going to play. You don't know who the leader is in the team. You don't have a leadership group. You don't have the guys to win the Premier League. So if you get the best manager in the world and you put them there, I don't think they're going to win. You need a manager that's going to have continuity, that's going to have fluidity, that's going to be able to work with the group for a few years.
Well, speaking of the managers, Nige, let's just have a look, shall we, at the odds for the next Chelsea manager, because this is what the bookies say. Liam Rosenior is at the top, Oliver Glasner, Roberto De Zerbi, Cesc Fàbregas as well is in there as maybe one of the outsiders looking in. How do you feel about it, Nige?
Some great names in there. I just think, again, it's going to be an individual basis thing. I think when you look at this ownership group now, our manager's going to have control in who comes in, who doesn't come into the football club. I doubt that very much. When you look at Chelsea's blueprint, as a manager there, one of these managers, you have to understand the job that you're going into. Are you going to have the opportunity to bring players in that you want? Are they going to go against the blueprint that they've got of not wanting to get senior players or players over a certain age? Do you believe that with the squad that they have right now, you could compete and win a Premier League title? So these are decisions you're going to have to make.
Who are you going with if you're Chelsea?
I mean, there's some great names. I think for me, Oliver Glasner would probably be the best choice right now. Liam Rosenior is a great friend of mine. I think he's doing great in what he's doing at Strasbourg. I don't think right now it would be the good or right opportunity for him, because I think
I'm a friend of you, bro.
He's a friend of mine. I'm being honest with you. I think that he's going to go into a lot of pressure going as a Chelsea manager
Don't
right now.
Don't put Nigel on your resume as a point of contact for a job.
Do you want me to lie? No, I'm being honest with you. I think he's doing a great job.
I'm interested in your take on Glasner, because I think we have completely different opposing views on that. Why do you think Glasner fits?
I think with what Glasner's done at Crystal Palace and what he's shown he can do in English Premier League, I think that would warrant him to get more credit in the bank, where I think that he can go in there and be a strong manager to say, this is what I'm going to do. And I think that they'll probably give him more freedom than maybe other managers. I think when you look at the younger managers, I think there'll be that mold set of they're young, there'll be more a controlling aspect. And you know what the papers are like. For one, I think the Chelsea fans will believe that Liam Rosenior is probably too young. Chelsea fans want a winner. I think Liam Rosenior is still in his journey to become a manager. I understand the Strasbourg link because it's part of the same network of ownership group. For Glasner, I think that he's already proven that he can win things. And I think that it will be the right fit for Chelsea. And I know what you're going to say about the style of play, the high press and how Chelsea are now, but they've got the players. They've got the players to play Glasner's style.
You don't think it's a good fit in the style?
No, I just think I take Nigel's point from a managerial coaching point of view, but I think when you're looking at how Chelsea do business, it's very deliberate, isn't it, with a 4-2-3-1. I think obviously Glasner plays the 2 10s in there, no wingers. They've got Esteval, who they rate very highly. They've got other young players coming in the summer that they've bought in those areas. We talk about wing backs. Reece James, we know, has to be managed. So now if you're saying to him, right, we're going to tuck in and you've got that whole line to do. I just think the way that Glasner does things at Palace is fantastic, but for Palace. Maybe his step is a Man United, a team that's already going down that route with 2 10s. I just think, can you imagine Glasner saying to Cole Palmer, I want you to sprint to the centre-back, and then when you sprint to the centre-back, sprint to the goalkeeper? I just don't see that fit really going there. I understand the Liam Rosenior one. I actually think with Nigel a little bit differently on that. I think it's a good fit because he knows the system, he knows what they want. Also, it's a huge job.
It's a huge job.
Like,
that's the problem.
You can't turn it down. Do you like, you're in France, you're doing well. Maybe there's less pressure, you can coach, but you can't. You can't turn down a Chelsea.
We had the conversation before. I think out of all those there, we said that I think Cesc Fàbregas will be a great fit. But would Cesc Fàbregas leave Como? But we don't know individual players' ambitions at the end of the day, because he likes younger players. It's a great squad of players where he'll get the respect. He played for the club, and whether he feels he can take them forward, again, that's an individual conversation to Cesc to say, right, this is what we're going to let you do, and we can't ever. You don't know an individual player's ambition.
Can we get that back up? That list of names. Can we get that back up, please?
I think Cesc Fàbregas will be a perfect fit for them.
Fàbregas would be a good fit. They're all good managers. But again, this is a job where it's a great job for many reasons. It's a bad job for a lot of reasons. For a lot of these managers too, you know you're going into a crazy pressure situation, unrealistic expectations, and you don't know what you're going to get and how you're going to get it. So it's not like a straightforward shot. Like what Fàbregas is building his career. He's one of the bright managers out there. Does he want to go into Chelsea where he's not maybe going to be given the longest leash and he's going to be given all these expectations, big pressure job? I don't know. Maybe. For me, he would be my pick.
I think when you go down the list, Rosenior is the obvious favourite for what we just said. Glasner, again, a little bit of disconnect. I think De Zerbi's in exactly the same mould as Maresca. Yeah. He's going to cause problems upstairs. Cesc, we've just alluded to. This is the one I'm interested in, Iriola. I think when you look at Bournemouth selling players, they're struggling at this moment in time. I think he's one that would be grateful for the job. Also, tactically, he's fantastic. Yeah. And he plays the same system. So that's one I would just keep on.
That's a good one. I like that one.
OK, well, we'll see. They've got Manchester City on Sunday, so not an easy match for the Blues.
Start the job after. Start the week after. We'll start the week.
I'm unavailable this weekend, actually.
No Caicedo as well.
We'll see, though. We know that Chelsea and Enzo Maresca, though, have parted ways as of today.